Live. Welcome everybody. We are live. Welcome to the Business Growth Show. My name is Dan Latter. Glad you could join us today. Thank you for listening to the podcasts. Thanks for watching the YouTube live videos. Much appreciate it. So in today's session, we're going to talk about investing really, specifically about how to get to be a millionaire, just investing small amounts of money every single day. It's not some magical pyramid scheme or some high yield scheme of any kind. It's just basic basic simple saving along with compounded interest. And I'm going to run the numbers live so you can actually see for yourself the actual numbers. So I've just gone to a calculator online. This one's called moneychimp.co.uk/calculator/compound interest calculator. You can find any compound interest calculator that you like. And I just want to put some numbers in and just see what kind of numbers throw up £1 million. And then what you can do is you can go, okay, well, I want £1 million in 20 years, 30 years time. And then you know exactly how much money to start saving every single month. Now, I wish at the age of 18, when I started earning some money, 16 technically, but 18 properly, with a wage or a salary, I wish somebody had have shared this with me and even forced me to take this money out. And you know, that's an ethical debate for other people. Are you going to do this for your kids? Are you going to forcibly remove some of their income, like 20% of their income, 30% of their income, 40% of their income? And I actually think the way to start this is not from when they're age 18, when they're 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 and they start getting little bits of pocket money. So you know, there's £1, take away 20 pence. Depends on a pound. Where's £10, take away £2. That's to go into savings. And so you're starting to create this ethical way that kids are then going to start learning to save, learning to invest. What's that old joke? Teach kids how to about taxes by eating 30% of their ice cream. I love that as an idea. If you've got any comments or statements, just stick them in the box down below. That would be great. But let's just go to the calculator. I'm not going to share screens because it just goes a little bit crazy. But we're going to run different numbers at different percentage rates and just see how it goes, basically. So let me just make sure that you can see this. I have to put marks on the board so I actually know where you can see. Oh, right down here. That's fine. And up here is about there. That's fine. Just so that I'm not writing above or off the board. Okay, so let's just go to the calculator and have a quick look. So let's start off with £10 a day. £10 a day. Now I can actually do the maths here. £10 a day times 365 days is £3,650. That's how much money you're going to save every single year. Now think about that for a second. £3.5 grand. Imagine saving £3,500 every year. After 10 years, you've got 36 grand. After 20 years, you've got 70 grand. You're clearly nowhere near £1 million, but we're going to start using some compound interest on this. And the figure that I've got is a 7% return, which, you know, if you take the FTSE 100, it's probably lower than that. I think the FTSE 100 is like 8-9%. Let's take a nice 7%. It's not a massively crazy interest rate, but let's take it anyway. So we've taken £10 a day saved, and we're applying interest once a year on the entire amount. Okay, just so we've got some rules down there, and you can, you know, because there's always people that go, oh, well, actually, are you charging interest monthly? By the way, if you don't know this, if you're paid weekly and you're paying your mortgage monthly, and you pay at the end of each month or the beginning of next month for your mortgage, if you actually change that from a monthly payment down to a weekly payment, you probably knock 5 or 6 years off the length of your mortgage payment because you're actually paying much less interest over a period of time. Now, I don't know if most people actually know that. It kind of blew me away the first time I saw it, but literally, if you can start paying your mortgage weekly, if you paid weekly rather than monthly, you will knock some years off your mortgage. That's the power of compound interest. Anyway, shut up, Dan. Let's get into it. £10 a day, 365 days, 3,650 quid will give us a 7%. So let's just put that there. 7% interest rate will give us 160,000. 107. So we're nowhere near it. So we need to start upping some of these figures, don't we? By the way, that's only over 20 years. Now, this is the key. If you're age 20 and you start doing this over a 30-year period, let's just do that over 20 years. Over 30 years, that is going to be and this is where things start to get a little bit more funky, that is going to be 368,000. Now, I know some people are going to go, hold on, Dan, hold on. 30 years. I don't want to wait 30 years. And I know some people watching this might not have 30 years left. We should have started earlier. I should have started earlier. We all should have started earlier. We all knew what we should have been doing. It's not like we can say, oh, no, if only somebody had told me. It's not rocket science. Save some bloody money. It's not rocket science, right? So we can't really use that excuse. I should have done this when I was 20 and I was going out buying Porsches and stuff and ridiculous. And it wasn't even a lot of money. £3,600 a year. It's not even a lot of money in the whole scheme of things, right? So we can't do £10 a day. What if we did £20 a day? Let's just do that, number 2. £20 a day times 365 is, let's just do that numbers. I'm going to come back onto the £10, by the way, because there must be a percentage over a certain period of time that will do that. In fact, should we do that first? Yeah, let's just do that first because I'm interested in that myself. So let's move that to 9% and move it to, so if you're 20, if you start age 20 and you go to 65, that's 45 years. Let's calculate that. Oh, it's way over. It's 2 million. Let's put it down to 7%. Calculate that. Okay, this is how you do it. Let me get rid of this one. Let me show you how to do this. Over 45 years. So if you start at the age of 20, by the time you get to retirement age of 65, is 1,115,993. And you might be asking, well, why are you talking about £1 million, Dan? It's because the pension pot that you're allowed to save into has about a maximum of about £1 million anyway. Anything over that just gets taken by the government, I think. But if you're saving, so if you start at age 20 and you save for 45 years, that's how you can turn £10 into £1 million. Yeah, it's going to take you 45 years. Who's got 45 years to wait? I certainly haven't. I'm going to be 90. What's the bloody point? So is you aware then that we can accelerate this? Of course there is. There always is. So let's go at £20 times 365 equals, I can't do that in my head, 20 times 365. Is this useful, by the way? Just pop it in the box, let me know. 7,300. So over 20 years, that's going to equal, and let's use the 7% again. Let me just see if there's any comments. Feel free to make some comments if you want to disagree with this. If you want to agree with this, that's fine. Okay, so we're talking how much? 7,300. Let's put it over 30 years. Let's calculate it. See what comes up. 737,000 over 20 years at 7%, of course, is 737. Interestingly, let's do it at 8%. Let's do it at 7.5%. Let's just see what happens there. A bit of an increase, not much. Let's do 8%, see what comes up. 893. Let's do 9%, see what comes up. 9% will get you over $1 million, okay? But let's stick with 7% and let's do it over 35 years. This is what you should be doing. You should be playing around with these numbers. Okay, there we go, 7%. What was that? 35 years is 1,079 and whatever it is. Okay, it's going to take you £7,300 a year over 35 years. I haven't got that long to wait. Let's keep going. Number 3. Let's double this up. Let's put £40 times 365. Now, some people will be going, I can't save 40 quid a day, Dan. I don't earn that. And that might be true, in which case you have to find a way of earning that. It's, you know, it's just, there's no ethics involved here. It's mathematics. It's just, that's life, you know. If you don't earn enough money, you need to earn more money. There's not a lot you can do about that. If you're not skilled enough to add more money, if you're not skilled enough to add value into the marketplace for which you get paid better, You need to increase your skills. That's it. It's really black and white. There's no ethics in there. It's just that is the rules. That's the world in which we live. We're a capitalist society. Okay, we're talking 14,600. Let's do those numbers. And also, let me just make sure you can actually see that on screen still. Yeah, you can. That's fine. Okay, so 14,600 over 20 years at 7%. It's 640 grand. So even over 20 years. Yeah, let's do 25 years. 988 over 25 years. So now we've got it down to 25 years is 988. It's almost £1 million. That'll do. But you should be running these numbers. How much money can you save every single year? That's what you need to be working out. So this is just over 14,600 is what? It's about £1,200 every single month. What if you could save £1,500 a month, which is £18,000? Let's just do this slightly different. 1,500 per month. Let's do the numbers on that. Now I know some people are going, well, hang on, Dan, I can't earn 1,500 a month. How am I supposed to save 1,500 a month? You need to get a better job. It's just there's not a lot you can do about that. And people go, oh, it's not realistic. Is it? Is it really unrealistic? I went from age 26 to age 30. I went from 15 grand a year to 100 grand a year. It's not unrealistic. It is unrealistic if that's what you keep telling yourself. So actually, we're probably down to 20 years. It depends on how much time you want to give yourself. Let's do 22 years. 943, 23 years. You should be running these numbers, by the way. Okay, 23 years equals 1029. Now, let's be honest though, 1,500 a month is a lot of money, okay? And also, we're talking about someone earning from the age of 20 all the way up to the age of whatever to get £1 million in a pension. You can't draw that money down if you're 20, right? And 23 years later, you're 43, you can't even get access to that money, okay? So maybe we should just go, okay, let's do 55 years. What's the amount from the age of 20, so it's 35 years, we've already done it. Here, this is how much money you need to save. Let me wipe some of this off so it makes it a bit clearer. We've already done that calculation. If you want £1 million, and by the way, let's talk about what £1 million is going to get you, especially in 35 years. Because it's not the same as it will get you today, that's for sure. This is one of the reasons why I'm in property, because I don't need £1 million. I don't need £1 million. I just need 5, 10, 15, £20,000 a month. I don't need £1 million sat in a pot that you dare not touch in case, you know, you're eroding away the capital and you can't live off the interest. It's ridiculous. Let's look at this a different way, because I know people want to be a millionaire, and I get that. But being a millionaire is irrelevant if you can't pay your bloody bills, right? What's the point in that? You're going to lose it all anyway. If you go bankrupt, pensions are void from bankruptcy, I think. But let's look at it a different way. Right? What's £1 million even going to get you? Should we do that calculation? Base it on 4%. Plus 4%. It's 40 grand a year. Wow. You're saving all this time, and all you're going to do is earn 40 grand a year. What's the point in that? You saved £7,300 a year over 35 years. You got the golden million, so now you're officially a millionaire. So what? You're making 40 grand a year. You're going to live like a pauper in 35 years on 40 grand. How many holidays do you think you're going to get on 40 grand? How many nice cars are you going to buy? So for me, that just doesn't even work. Right? Does it for you? Let's have a look at comments. You tell me. Does it work for you? It doesn't work for me. Come on, folks. We've got people watching. You tell me. We've just been to Burger King. This show is not sponsored by anybody. Let's run the comparison on property, shall we? And let's base it on. So I love doing these comparisons, by the way. And there, I think. Okay. Let's run a comparison on property. So what was it? £40,000 a year divided by 12 is wrong, divided by 12 is 3,333. That's how much money you're bringing in every single month before tax. Don't forget, you still get taxed on your pension, I think, anyway. Even though you've paid tax, you still get taxed on your pension because your pension is offset when you input in it, but you pay tax when you're bringing it back out. So it's equal, is what I'm saying. So for 3,333, you can have 10 properties that make £333 each. Or you could have 20 properties divided by 2 is 166 per month, right? So you could do it that way. Now you've got 20 deposits at £17,000 each, because we've done the maths on this on the previous session, so I even know. But that will easily give you 166, about £205 a month it'll actually give you. So that's what, £340,000? Let's times that by 3. Oops. Because that's £1 million. Like, you're going to double it, 6,666.66. This is how much money you need to save. So you can do it one of two ways. You can go and get a pension, and you can move money into the pension, and you can save for 35 years, saving £7,300 every single year. Or you could just do it this way. And then this is only rental income. This is not taking into account capital growth of any of the properties that you've got. If you've got any comments, by the way, just please stick with me. Now, some people get confused by all of this, okay? And it's fine to be confused. Confusion is a good place to be, in fact. Confusion usually precedes a breakthrough. That's what we say in NLP. And so if you're confused, you've got most of the information, but it's not yet in the right order. We have something called a bifurcation point, which precedes confusion. And at the point of a bifurcation, so this is confusion, time. You get confused, you're putting everything in order, everything in place, increasing amount of confusion, and then you have a breakthrough right here. It's called a bifurcation point, and then your confusion drops. Because it's like, oh, I've got some learning. And then you have more confusion. And then you hit a bifurcation point, and then it drops. This is life, right? This is how it goes. As you're continually learning things, sometimes you're more confused than the others, other times it's lower, and so on and so forth. This is the bifurcation point. And it's all right to be confused. Not a problem at all. What confusion should be telling you is, one, keep going, because you're about to have a breakthrough as per this bifurcation point. And two, what confusion tells you is that you're about to have a breakthrough. Was that number one? It means you're really close, so keep going. But you've got to start running the numbers. Find yourself a compound interest calculator. Work through the numbers. None of this is financial advice, of course, because I'm not qualified to give you financial advice. But you've got to run the numbers. Do you want to run a pension? That's one option. I mean, I was looking at how much money we've spent acquiring businesses in the last 3 months. Compare that to the revenue that we're about to get in the next 12 months, let's say. Tiny amount of output and a large amount of input, like easily beats property and easily beats the stock market. But then you carry all these risks. You carry all these risks with you with running a business. So you put a wrapper around the business. So if it goes wrong and blows up, then it doesn't affect everything else that you do. Let's have a look. So, really like this approach to confusion. Thank you. It's an NLP thing. It's not mine. But I'm an NLP master. I always like saying that because it makes me feel like a Jedi. But it's a bifurcation point. That's what that is. Have you got any questions about saving, revenue, income? So for me, this is not about having £1 million in an account, because I can't do anything with it. It's like investing in gold, right? I think gold's a terrible investment. And people have made a lot of money on gold. Well, why am I so special that I think it's not a great investment? I can't eat it. I can't sleep on it. I can't spend it at the shops. What I can do with property is I can generate cash flow. I can buy a bed to sleep on without selling the house. I can't buy a bed using gold. I have to sell the gold, which is going up in value or down in value. But with property, it gives cash flow. Now, also, on the £1 million a year, that might give you some cash flow as well if you're using dividends and that kind of thing. And, you know, let's look at that. Dividend of 6%. Let's look at that on £1 million. You can live on that. Plus 6% is 60 grand a year. That's all right. You can live on that. 60 grand? Seriously? No capital growth? Just, for me, it's always been property. It will always be property, but also businesses right now. But we've only gone down now that we've got a position of stability in our property business. But this is not for me to tell you what to do. This is for you to understand that you need to go and get yourself a sheet of paper or a whiteboard or a spreadsheet and a calculator, and you need to write down, what do you want your life to look like? How much money do you want to earn every single year without having to work for it? Okay, like passive income. So it might be, and we're all different, by the way, it might be £5,000. We can live here in Spain for less than £5,000 and live very well. We definitely spend less than this, by the way. But it might be £10,000. If you live in London, you might need 10 grand a month. Getting, you know, just breathing the air, that's the £10 surcharge, please. Like, how much money do you want to live on? 20 grand's nice. So you've got 10 grand to live and 10 grand for fun and toys and hiring yachts and speedboats, and it doesn't even cost that much. How much money do you need per month, I should say? And most people, they're not at this point, and they need to get to that point. So how many houses is that? How much in terms of stock market investments does that need to be? So that could be through an ISA, so it's tax-free. And you can put the profits back in, you're going to get faster growth, or you can pull the profits out and you can live on that. Like, how much do you need in an ISA to get you 2 grand a month? Now, I can do this in property. It's 10 times £200 a month. 10 properties will get me to 2 grand. This one is 50 properties times £200 a month is £5,000. What's this one? Is this one 100? Get you 10 grand a month. And this one's obviously double, so it's 200. That's not taking into account the type of property. It's a simple buy-to-let. What about a HMO? HMOs? Maybe this needs to be a bit different on HMOs. Can you make £400 a month profit? Yeah, probably. Let's squeeze up to £500. So 4 times £500 is 2 grand. That's 10 times £500 is 5 grand. This one is, so 20 properties at £500 profit will get you 10 grand a month. 20 properties. But you might not need that. You might only need this. And if you do get there and you only need this, then awesome. You're saving an extra £60,000 a year to either pay down some debt or to buy some more assets or start buying businesses or whatever that happens to be. The problem I see is that people don't have this conversation. And this is why we're going through this and explaining to people, work the numbers, this money matrix. I talk about it all the time. And I'm aware that I talk about it all the time because it's the same thing. It's the vital information that people need to get them out of the rat race. Going to a job, hating the boss. It's all the stuff that I hated. There's no need for it. It's 2020. You know, we've literally taken control over a planet that's not the Earth using robots. We've literally invaded a planet with robots, Mars, in case you were wondering which one. That's amazing, right? No other species has done that. We can do that. It's 2020. You don't have to get up and go to work. But if your value is so low, you're earning a very low wage, you need to up the value. Then you need to start saving that money. Then you need to put that money into this money matrix and start working out what you can do, start generating monthly income streams that's going to get you out. And I'm not even saying that it should all be passive. I don't think it should be passive. That 2 grand could be 10 hours at £200? Okay, it could be, what could it be? £100 an hour. So £100, so it's 20 hours at £100 an hour. So if you're working 5 hours on a Saturday, every Saturday, there's your 20 hours, you're getting paid £100 an hour, there's your extra 2 grand. You're working 1 day a week. Like, you just need to work that through. And then the question becomes, what can you get paid £100 an hour for? But people are happy to pay you. Is that hairdressing or is it coaching? What is it? Is it financial advising? Maybe I don't know. It's up to you. Whatever floats your boat. But your job is to start looking at this money matrix and start going, yeah, I can do that. Or actually, no, mine would be 40 hours at 50 quid. Great, 50 quid an hour. Is that NLP coaching? Is it Reiki? Is it massage? What is that? Could be anything. It's up to you. Whatever floats your boat. All right, I think we'll call it there. We've got no other comments. If you've got any comments, I'll take a quick drink and then I'll answer any comments if you've got them. Was this useful for you? Let me know if it is or not. No comments coming up. That's all right. We don't have to have comments. Okay, that will do us for today. We're live again on Wednesday. We're going to talk about property and a property cash flow show. Bit weird at the moment. Wife and little one finished school. We're now in summer holidays. We yesterday had the beach, we're in the pool, and we had a barbecue. I mean, absolute bliss. And by the way, you can do all that for less than £5,000 a month. You could probably do that for about £2,500 a month, quite frankly, with everything paid for. And just to put it into context of where you could be and how you could live your life. And if you're earning any more than that, that just then goes and buys more assets and more investments and so on. Anyway, we'll speak about that more on Wednesday. It's a great reminder. Thank you for that comment. I appreciate that. We'll catch up with you on Wednesday. My name's Dan Latter. We'll speak to you soon. Take care.